Yes, sir. From Studio A in beautiful downtown Lake Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Indeed it is.
Welcome in, everybody. Nice to have you along with us. It's another day of the damn coronavirus.
It is.
And everybody's still going kind of crazy on it. And what can you say? I mean, we're going in what? To the second month?
It is all I can
Second
say.
month. A lot of protests out in California. I even hear there's some up in New York where they're protesting having to stay in the house. And way to go, Americans.
I think we ought to form a peaceful demonstration right here at One Biloxi Square out on the grassy knoll area. What do you think there, Bruchacho?
Oh, man, yeah. Well, we may have to contact the CIA before this is all over with and make sure, so.
I have the number.
You got the number.
I got the number.
Okay.
Oh, man, how you doing through all this mess?
It's been crazy. It's been nuts. Golly, Bill. I mean, people I talk to, they're going crazy. Yeah. I mean, you got to get out of this house. You got to start mingling with people, or you're going to go crazy.
Well, I made sure to cinch up the straitjacket extra tight before I left the house today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Pap, we got a really good show today.
I'm
telling you, we do.
We do.
And we're going to lead it off by a little snippet. Sir.
If that don't put a little starch in your march, I don't know what will, man.
Hey, something, our program today actually is our veterans getting a fair shake from the Veterans Administration.
No,
now,
they're not.
Every once in a while we invite people come in. We had old Boomer Goober with us before, and today you've heard us talk about Big Matt.
Oh, Big Matt. Yeah.
Big Matt, what's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, I guess. I mean, just trying to make it with all this.
He almost sounds like Boomer Goomer, don't he?
It kind of sounds, a little bit.
I'm doing pretty good.
Boomers in self-quarantine as we speak.
Yeah. We had to call the authorities on him.
Big Matt, as we affectionately like to call him, is one of the best air conditioning and heating men you'll find in Lake Worth, Texas. And if you have a little problem with your air conditioner or heating,
that's the rumor.
Drop us a line and we'll send you his phone number.
Getting
and he'll
ready
fix
to
you
get
up.
hitched here pretty soon to his little sweet lady, Miss Vanessa, the divine Miss.
When
Vanessa
is this going to happen, Matt? When is this going to happen?
June 20th, come hell or high water.
Hell or high water. Okay, you're going to have to hold your mic a little bit closer. So
the high water might happen, but I mean, we're living in hell now. So
now the date again is when?
June 20th.
June
20th.
20. June 20th. Will be a
let's
bigger fire.
Let's just put the scuba gear on and dive right in. I'll tell you, I've got so many things to say about our great veterans who have served our great country and wearing the uniform. Now, Matt, you were in the United States Air Force.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
for 4 years.
Thank you for your service, man.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate it. We love you.
All of our vets out there, man, we cannot say thank you enough for the service that you've given us, the sacrifices you've made, the family that you left behind to serve, and their contribution to us.
Taking care of the homeland.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, let me ask you, I mean, as we get this thing started off, the topic is, are veterans getting a fair shake from the VA? Have you had any dealings with the Veterans Administration?
Well, me personally, I haven't, but my dad has had a lot. And
yeah, he's totally disabled, you'd said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Bless his heart. Excuse me.
Every time that he goes, it's something new. I mean, from getting his medicine on time, and some of that medicine's got to be there at a certain time. When he runs out,
Well, yeah.
Sure.
he'll run a week late or whatever, and
Which doesn't do him any good at all.
No.
No, they actually will fill his prescription in Killeen, send it to. They were for a while sending it to D.C.
What?
and then sending it back to his house. So
That's crazy.
He got to where he just told him, he said, "Don't do that. I'll just go to Waco and pick it up."
Where does your pop live?
He just goes to the main VA.
Where does he live?
In Oglesby.
Oglesby, yeah. Okay, that is close to Waco, yeah. So
Yeah.
We're fairly close, but still, that's not right. It ought to be dropped in his mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. B, for your service too. And God, I just hear about that. That just some of those things, Pappy, just drive me crazy. And,
It makes me,
doing
and, I mean, and God bless my dad. I mean, he was U.S. Army, Korea,
yeah,
and they had restructured the Houston VA administration in the hospital, and he never had one bad minute. They had valet parking, yes sir, no sir.
Really.
I couldn't believe it, I mean.
Wow.
But this is a subject that has bugged me my entire adult life. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not a fair shake.
I
They've
keep
earned those
saying,
benefits.
I don't know how the Democrats decide and want to have socialized health care when they can't even run the VA correct.
Yeah.
If
That's a
they
good
can't take
point.
care of just
That's a
our
damn good point.
veterans, what makes them think that they can take care of everybody?
Well, I can explain it in 2 words, brother. Government. And take it from somebody that used to work for them. It's just not right. I mean, there are ways of doing things, but the establishment of the Veterans Administration, might I read, Grandpa?
Absolutely.
Came in 1930 when Congress authorized the president to consolidate and coordinate government activities affecting war veterans. The 3 component agencies become bureaus within the Veterans Administration at that time. My question is this: why can't they take care of widows and children, of past veterans, fallen soldiers,
There's some startling statistics that I found in researching. Now, this is according to the 2019 National Veterans Suicide Prevention Annual Report. Now, Pappy, it says that in 2017, 6,139 veterans committed suicide, or 16 suicides per day. Now,
16.8, yeah.
Stop and think about it. That's an astronomical amount of intentional deaths by veterans every day.
That's insane.
You got any? What's your feeling on it, Big Matt?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the VA itself. Them not. We have an issue with soldiers coming back from wartime, war places,
Right.
with PTSD because their best friend's arms died in their arms.
Well, from things that they've seen and experienced.
Or whatever, and they come back and they do just the bare minimum of what.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, they'll do the bare minimum.
Well, I mean, you see a lot. You see a lot of the non-vets, for example, living on the streets because of lack of involvement from the VA, and that kills me. That kills me when I see that.
Yeah,
really
there was. Let's see. Let me find it for you. The National Coalition for Homeless Veterans released figures showing the latest numbers on homeless vets.
Wow.
They report that on any given night in the United States, there are 40,056 veterans that are homeless. Now, many of these veterans are just like Big Matt was talking about, are suffering from PTSD, drug abuse, or alcoholism.
And I think that's a low number. I really believe that.
My dad is a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and it started in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got clean in, I think, his 40s, I believe, and he's been clean ever since.
Good
for you. Yeah.
So many guys go overseas and they go to these places and they get strung out on anything from marijuana, opium, alcohol.
Well, but which back in the Nam days, opium was very popular. That and heroin,
Yeah. Now let me tell something to you Democrats out there, okay? You Democrats serving in government. It is an absolute shame and disgrace to the United States of America for this many people, 40,056 veterans on any given night are homeless. And yet, you are making sure that illegal immigrants make more than any Social Security person.
Don't get me started on that crap.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I mean, I'm getting wound up now. And spending all this money on illegal immigrants and not taking care of our veterans. By God, they serve this country and keep us free.
And the money they're putting out on the immigrants, Bill, would probably be enough to take care of each and every one of those homeless people.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then some.
Louise.
Yeah.
You know, we had a guy write into us, Pappy, that said his name is Paul Seymour. Mm-hmm. He wrote in to say that it sometimes takes 45 days or longer to get in to see a doctor to the VA hospital, and that is totally unacceptable. Veterans who are hurting should be able to receive immediate treatment when they need it. Well, now, we have an interview coming up that National Public Radio did that we're going to try to let you hear here on what President Trump has done to help our veterans in a speech that he gave to the VFW. And that's coming up in a little bit.
He's already changed a lot of that policy.
Yes, he has.
So, bless his heart.
Yes, he has. I think you know Judith Smith, don't you?
I do. She's a friend of mine.
Yeah. She
told us the VA's policy of receiving a widow's pension is living in poverty and being disabled. And then, then you might get it. She says she went to the VA in Fort Worth, and the guy treated her awful, and she had just lost her husband.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, who was a vet. Yeah. She went on to say back in 2014, her husband went to the VA in Dallas, and they were going to take his kidney out without even doing any tests on him. God, he was in the Air Force for 16 years. And needless to say, she has zero respect for the Veterans Administration. I can't blame her. I cannot blame her at all.
And we treat our vets like this. That just makes me sick to my stomach or make me want to have another drink of alcohol.
They should be in the forefront.
Big man.
Part of the reason why I have no real involvement with the VA is because I'm in good health.
Well, you're still young. You're relatively young.
My dad and other parental figures have always told me, well, why don't you go? You can get health care through the VA. And I'm like, yeah, but there are guys like you, other guys that need the treatment way more than I need.
Absolutely.
You know, I had rather reserve those visits, that time and everything for those guys. I'm in good health.
They say my pop was the same way. He passed when he was 83, thanks to the doctors. But he would stand aside and go private pay insurance until he reached the age where he thought, I don't need this anymore. I mean, he's putting back $2,000 a month back in his pocket, by going VA. And thankfully, he never had any issues with them. Period. I mean, there was the only thing I ever heard him bitch about was the waiting period.
Yeah.
So.
Well, George Schultz, George Schultz of Lake Worth here, a good friend of ours, says that the VA did not help him in the treatment of his cancer at all. He did say, though, that his brother, who passed away 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, was treated with great respect, and the VA staff did everything they could to care for him while he was in hospice. So he doesn't give us really an opinion either or. Right. I mean, it's what happened to him and then what he personally
George was a very opinionated guy, so it must have gone fairly smooth for him.
Yeah.
Our good and dear friend Mike Lipka, a Vietnam vet and now retired, told us he is ineligible for treatment at the VA because his household made too much money. What a bunch of crap.
Is that a bunch of shit or what?
That's what he was told by the VA. I mean,
yeah, I know that's what he was told.
It shouldn't matter what kind of money.
It don't make any difference. Nah. A veteran is a veteran, and by God, they deserve treatment from this country if they're sick or injured or suffering through something they need help with. I don't give a damn.
In my opinion, if you sacrifice your life and your family to serve the homeland, you should be put in the forefront of any type of treatment that's out there available, especially hospitalization or medical.
And the government is actually spurring on the idea that the American dream has something to do with laziness.
Yeah.
Okay?
That starts in the household.
As far as I know, the American dream is nothing but work hard to make your life better.
Exactly.
And so if a vet comes out and works hard, he's not going to get his benefits because he worked hard and made his life better.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's BS.
Exactly.
Man, don't get me started.
It's all in politics.
I've got my brother who served during the Vietnam era.
Are you talking about Archie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of several, and I was looking at and I'll tell you his story here in just a second. Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange seem to have a hard time getting diagnosed by VA doctors, which I'll tell you why and give you this example of my brother. There was a lawsuit filed by a group of veterans against the makers of Agent Orange.
Right.
And they won billions of dollars. Now, the problem is getting the VA to agree that they're actually suffering from ailments caused by those chemicals. Now, soldiers are suffering from cancer, heart problems, kidney problems, among other ailments caused by Agent Orange, and it seems like that the VA doesn't want to certify him as exposed because he'll be entitled to receive compensation from that settlement. Now, with that said, my brother, ever since he got out of the military, has been having all kinds of physical ailments. I mean, he was one of the healthiest guys you'll ever see until he came out of the military. Now, what I just read you, he's got problems with his heart, his kidneys, his liver, his legs, circulation, and he went to a VA doctor, and this doctor took the time and to research my brother. Now, he went all the way back through his military career and found that he was not exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. He was exposed to Agent Orange when he was in training at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Really?
In their Tigerland out there that got veterans or soldiers ready to go fight in Vietnam. They were experimenting on that.
Wow.
Now, in the latter stages of his enlistment in Germany, he was having to help load barrels of Agent Orange onto planes to take to Vietnam. And that's, those two places are where he got exposed. Now, he took all this research, my brother did, from the doctor, that VA doctor, and went to the VA hospital in Dallas because you have to have 3 VA doctors certify
that's typical government.
that you were exposed to Agent Orange and are suffering symptoms. The 2 doctors he saw in Dallas would not certify him. So he is barely making it day to day. He has good days and bad days. I mean, just certify him, for God's sakes.
Wow.
So what? He gets a little bit of the benefits from that lawsuit. By God, they served. They deserved
They earned it. They earned every bit of it.
My God Almighty.
Arthur Moore wrote in to say he received shrapnel wounds from an IED in Iraq. And the VA has been very good about his treatment and the care he's receiving.
Well, there's a positive thing. I'm very happy for you, Arthur. I really am, and thank you for your service.
And our buddy, old Boomer Goomer. Boomer Goober. That guy, that hillbilly. That's what got him sent home. He was a career Army guy.
Yeah.
And suffered an injury from an IED. And that's what sent him home. I'm wondering, we didn't hear anything back from him about how he's being treated through the VA.
No, not really. He
ongoing reforms.
here we go. I mean, I told you a little bit earlier, and we're going to try to be quiet. Hopefully, friends, we can bring this in enough. I mean, we're working on a beer budget with champagne taste, so we have to make do. But we found this interview that the National Public Radio did. Now, sometimes National Public Radio leans way to the left, but on this one, I think the moderator was trying to say that our president has not done enough to help the VA, so they sent their reporter, Quill Lawrence, out to this convention. And he came back with a lot of answers that the president has done and kind of quieted everybody. So I'm gonna try to pot ours down a little bit and see if we can get this on. Hopefully we can, ladies and gentlemen, because it's pretty interesting. Let's give a listen.
What is and what isn't happening at the VA. We're now joined by NPR's Quill Lawrence. And Quill, how much has the president done for veterans since he took office?
Well, he has signed some important laws. Very recently, he put through something that's called the Forever GI Bill, which extended GI Bill benefits to more people and allow them to use it for a longer amount of time. There's a VA Accountability Act, which makes it easier to fire misbehaving VA officials. And Trump mentioned today some changes in the way VA clinics will operate.
We are publishing wait times online for every VA facility, so you know what the wait is. We've delivered same-day emergency mental health services at every VA medical center.
In fact, he signed another law on stage at the convention today, which makes it faster and easier for vets to appeal their VA decision about disability ratings. Now, many of these ideas are bipartisan consensus ideas that have been around for years, but now they're moving relatively fast through Congress to the president's pen.
This is worth our noting here. You're talking about Congress acting in a bipartisan fashion, sending legislation quickly to the president. He's signing it. This is the exception to the rule in Washington these days, Quill.
It's like a parallel universe or something. But vets issues have always been a bit less partisan. And now with Republicans controlling Congress and the White House, they sort of own the VA. So some of the bashing of the VA, some of the political obstructionism has gone. Now, some critics like the DNC today said, well, Trump is just taking credit for things that have been already in the works for years. Now, this isn't unusual for a politician to do that. And Trump today at the American Legion did say that last year he had promised them he would fix the VA.
And you see what's been happening. Now you have a true reformer in Secretary David Shulkin. He has done an incredible job.
Of course, Secretary Shulkin may be a true reformer, but he's also a true holdover from the Obama administration, so not a radical change from the VA leadership. Has that been well received?
Yes, I think the continuity has been appreciated. Shulkin spoke at the Legion today, too, and he got a great reception. It should say the VA still isn't fully staffed up. There are no nominees for the top 3 positions under Shulkin. But Shulkin has been announcing big changes, including slaughtering some sacred cows. He dropped the VA's long-suffering in-house electronic medical record. I know it sounds boring, but it's hugely important. It means that they'll be able to take electronic records from the Pentagon and send them straight over to the VA. He's opened up mental health care to veterans with other than honorable discharges. These people had figured high in the suicide epidemic. So he is getting some stuff done.
Now, the president and the VA secretary also mentioned today the continuation of the Veterans Choice Program, which lets veterans get care outside the VA system. With things moving so relatively fast at the VA, what about the concern that this program could be a slow-moving privatization of veterans' health care?
No matter how many times they deny it, that keeps coming back. Vets' Choice, as we've reported on, hasn't really been a poster child for private care. The program, Veterans' Choice, allows certain veterans to get care outside the system. It's been problematic. Shulkin today was talking about plans to reform it. We're hoping to see something like that in the fall. But even so, at the end of his speech today, he still felt the need to say,
well, you can kind of tell from that, Pappy, that President Bush is really doing whatever he can to President Trump.
Flashback.
Yeah.
We need to quit smoking that stuff.
Yeah, I need to quit drinking this Colombian coffee. Maybe they mix something in there,
Drink
But
my flavor coffee.
just from that interview, you can tell, what our great President Trump has done.
Well, and he had also mentioned that not much has changed since the Obama administration. He's full of crap.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
a Christmas turkey, he's full of crap.
Well, I'll tell you, we could go on and on and on. Sherry McMillan of Dallas says she suffers from PTSD and has a hard time getting in to see her doctor at the VA hospital.
Yeah.
Sherry, God bless you. Hopefully we can see that change a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully, we can make sure our veterans get the care that they want. Now, one big thing I did want to bring up, everybody, and that is write your congressman or call your congressman or representative and tell them to get off their ass and start taking care of our veterans instead of these illegal immigrants we talked about a while ago.
Supposedly that's why they're there.
I'm not hard-hearted. I'm not trying to be radical. I'm just telling you from an American's standpoint, we should be taking care of our veterans every single frickin' day of the year.
Absolutely.
And if you want to come to this country illegally, you're on your own.
That's right.
You want to come in like, what was his name, Raphael? And he did it the right way, and he got his citizenship in December. Now, that's the way that you become an American, and you can get some of these benefits.
It's the way the program was designed.
Absolutely.
You're legal, by the way, aren't you, Big man? You don't look.
You
don't look very legal.
We've touched on some things today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 30-minute show, so we try to keep it within there.
We've still got some interest. I think we ought to run over. We still got some very interesting viewer comments.
Well,
brother.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
What do you got, Pappy?
Well, Mary C. from Campbell, Texas says she watched the show on coronavirus myths and thoroughly enjoyed the show. Mm-hmm. We're glad to have you along.
Yeah. And she has a husband, Mr. Ralph, that was a lifer in the U.S. military. So, Mr. Ralph, if you're listening, and all you folks in Campbell, how you doing? Love living down there in the country, and thank you for your service. But here again, we want to make sure, and we'll get to our viewer comments here in just a second, but we just want to make sure that you guys realize how important it is to take care of our veterans. And
absolutely,
you veterans out there watching, we want to make sure you know how much we appreciate what all you did in sacrificing your time and your life to serve the United States military and give us the freedoms that we have today. But there's some people that say, hey, they're
that's kind of got
getting stretched
twisted
a
up
bit.
in all the rhetoric of politics, I think.
Yeah.
Freedom.
So be sure to write your congressman and let them know, take care of our vets, by God.
What do you say about all this, Matt?
I'm really glad that our current president is deciding to, and he is kind of a man of action, to kind of move things forward to try to get the veterans taken care of. And it ain't just in the health department, but like you were mentioning, the housing,
all around,
everything, with the veterans. It needs to be better. They need to be. No veteran is asking for a handout.
Right.
They're asking for.
Well, they're too proud.
To be helped in the manner so that they can make their lives better and live that American dream.
Yeah. That's a good
after
point.
Sacrificing.
And after all, it is kind of what they were promised when they signed on a dotted line to go in and protect and serve our country.
And they never stopped that oath. That oath,
they never do.
They didn't relieve you of your oath when you left the service.
Yeah.
You were still sworn to protect this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Exactly.
I couldn't agree more.
Very well said, my friend. Yeah.
So anyway, folks, let your legal representatives know how much you want them to take care of the veterans.
It's why they're there.
That was a good one.
That's part of the oath they took. So.
Well, kind of moving along a little bit into our next segment, our viewer comments that we've received from you folks. And once again, we do appreciate so much you sending us in your comments and your ideas and suggestions. Yeah. Andrew Moore wrote in to say he rewatched our program on drivers in Lake Worth and laughed his butt off. He said what we said was true, and now he's watching for all those drivers making mistakes.
All you got to do is get out on the roads, and you'll find those.
Ain't it so?
Thomas N. wrote on Twitter that he agrees with a lot we discussed on the coronavirus show, says that it's working each week, and no one has tested positive for the virus, which apparently he doesn't watch the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. He also thinks it's like the flu and has to run its course. That part I agree with.
I agree too.
Common sense will
common sense.
lead the way. So.
We did get a couple of complaints, and we'll read the complaints along with the compliments.
Say it isn't so.
Sharon Allison wrote on Twitter that we're taking the coronavirus too lightly and should be careful what we pass along to our viewers. Now, Sharon, we tell you during all parts of our program that this is our opinions. We're not doctors.
That's right.
Don't claim to be. But it's our opinions.
I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
Hey, it's okay. We respect what you have to say.
And Philip Moore says we're giving President Trump too much credit on his handling of the coronavirus and that we need to check our facts. Well, Philip, number one, we check our facts. And number two, how's it feel to be a libtard?
Boy, that's another subject for another day, ain't it?
Booyah.
Well, that's all I've got to say about that. Yes. Let's see here. Arlen T. wrote in to say he heard that grocery store... Hey, this is what you said, or Crawdaddy said the other day. Arlen T. wrote in to say he heard that grocery stores and pharmacies will not be taking returns on toilet paper, cleaning supplies, and all of the things that people hoarded.
My God.
He likes that idea and hopes that people are stuck with tons of supplies they didn't need or that they wouldn't share.
These are the folks that'll have to butt surf in hell when they run out of that 20 cases of toilet paper. So, karma. All I can say about that.
Boy, I'm telling you.
We do appreciate hearing all your complaints, your suggestions, and comments. And by all means, please continue to send them along to grandpaandpappy@gmail.com. We love hearing from you and love having subject matter to discuss.
And also, we want to invite you to jump on our webpage because we feature our latest program there. It gives you a little information about Pappy and I and about our past and broadcasting. And it also gives you a chance to, big red button there. Boom. Just push on it and you can subscribe to YouTube. And we need your subscribers to go on there and to subscribe.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up and a like, and by all means, tell somebody. Tell a friend or a family member about them. We
you can also go on Twitter. And Miss Kay, what's the other one? LinkedIn. And give us comments on the show or any comments you have. We've been getting quite a bit from Twitter since we got on that. But anyway, it's www. You sure I'm not drinking your coffee? www.grandpain, not and, grandpainpappy.com.
When can it be Pappy and Grandpa? You did this to me on purpose, didn't you?
I did.
Doggy.
My God.
Hi. Anyway.
Got a good show coming up next time, too.
Yeah, what we're going to talk about.
And this can be, and this should generate some comments, too.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be an American?
By God.
I want to know what your opinion is.
Yeah.
You're going to hear mine and Grandpa, or Pappy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to hear ours, by George.
I might be
but I can tell you right now.
Opinion.
I can tell you right now, we live in the greatest country in the entire world,
Take it from somebody.
Are there things I'd like to change? Yes.
Take it from somebody that's traveled the world. Back in my career, even the Allies were laughing at us back over there.
I'm still waiting for them damn Hollywood actors that said, if Trump is elected, I'm moving out of this country. Well, how come you hadn't got your happy ass out of here yet? That's what I want to know.
Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, Rosie O'Donnell.
Hey, folks, thank you very much for joining us. Pappy and I, we get a kick out of you. We get a kick out of reading the comments. And,
couldn't do it without you.
Your participation is a big thing.
It is.
Hey, thanks, Big Matt, for showing up today. We appreciate it. And thanks for your service again, brother.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me on. It's been a joy.
It has been a joy.
Can't wait for the big shindig to kick off June 20th.
Yes, sir.
Will you wear those false boobs that you was wearing Halloween so we can slow dance?
Yeah.
One of these days when
I'll even let you rub them.
I'll be nose to nose with them when I'm dancing with you.
We'll show you that picture come Halloween, and we'll have a little fun with it. But until we see you again, everybody, we want to tell you to stay safe. Let's have a good time. Take care of each other. Share.
And we love you.
Absolutely. And until then, we say salute and see you later.